This film was made from a piece of music I had never heard before. A few weeks ago, I sat down with a composer and listened to one of her pieces for the very first time, right here on camera. Whatever ideas I come up with, I'm going to put into action. This is Alexandra, and while she usually writes music for films, today I'm going to make a film for her music. Welcome to the creative process. You kind of talk about what interested you about doing kind of a weird collaboration like this.
A few years ago, and there was this film director who also said, I listened to your string quartet and I have ideas for a film, so I might create a film just because I listened to your music. But that never happened. That for me was the first time I've heard about this kind of a concept to create a film after the music. So you kind of take the music as an inspiration. I was like, wow, that's really interesting. I've never thought about it. And then you also contacted me, of course, it's years later, with the same idea. And I'm like, yeah, I gotta do this. Because it didn't work the first time. It didn't go anywhere. But now it was kind of another chance to do it. Because it's also interesting how your process would be with this. Because I'm usually the one who creates music for something, So I usually work with something that's already there and I need to be inspired by it. So my music it doesn't come first. And in this case, it's going to be the other way around. And I'm really curious how that would be because it's a film. So how different is the process of creating the film after the music than the music after the film?
So if you'd like to follow along with this next part, you can head over to bronsecreative.us/education and download this form. It's just a project development form that has been crafted with filmmakers I've worked with over the past. First idea is usually not the best. My 3 ideas for this are going to be kind of colors and abstract. Part of me is I don't know if I do it on Super 8 color and with light painting, but I don't know what happens after that. I'm still kind of in there, but the genre would be experimental. So think Stan Brakhage, something moth-like or something, I don't know, so there's this kind of, I don't know exactly how it works yet. Story is secondary in this one. So if you're making an experimental film, when you're making those kind of things, the story usually is not very important. So if you'd like to check out an interview with an experimental filmmaker, I'll drop it right here. Idea 2 is I filmed so much for this that is to make this story fit into the music. So the music will score this YouTube video. I think if I was to use this idea, then it would be that, just how music changes what we perceive. I'm just talking about writing a script and coming up with a story, but this music starts to make it feel very uncomfortable. In this one, I would like to play with the music, so not play as literal to what it is tone-wise. Maybe it's funny or something, I don't know. Maybe I'll make both of them and see which one works. And then idea 3 is, the one that makes me the most nervous, and it's probably... So Norton. Norton is an experimental film where I filmed my old house and I wanted to explore high definition versus standard def versus mini DV, all these kind of things. Do those make you actually feel things? I filmed the whole project right before we moved, but a few days after I filmed it, my dog passed away after 15 years. So the film that I had filmed was not really... It was not just an experiment anymore. It got weirdly personal. I haven't edited that film because, for one, it's going to have my dog in it. And, that's, I don't think I've completely come to terms with that. The art changes. The audience adds things to it. Whenever I was talking to... Alexandra about the piece, and she was telling me, she didn't really have any prior ideas for it. She just let it kind of speak and let it grow.
I come from a classical background. Classical background is everything very, organized, structured, very kind of square in a way. And in my first year of writing music when I was studying, I was trying to get rid of this mindset, very classical mindset, classical approach to writing music. So it's just okay to go places with like musically when you just feel like, okay, I want to go here and then there and then there. And it doesn't have to have logic. It doesn't have to have a structure. You don't need to think it through the whole thing before you sit down and write. So for me, that was like a really experimental piece that I just wanted to see where it leads me in a way.
And so I was very interested to do that as well. I just didn't think that it would lead to this happening. In my mind, it was going to be something that like played with shutter speed or something like that when it kind of started. But now this Norton, I haven't looked at it because I've been, it's just a lot of loss over the last year. And these things happen in life and you learn from them. And there's a lot of really beautiful things that are coming out of it. But, the grieving process, as they say, is a cycle. And so it comes up and it changes and it makes you feel things that, things just change about what's important to you and everything. So the whole film was about grief. It's me in it, like me trying to, I was like, okay, me trying to like put like some sense to the madness of being like, so that was what all the cameras were like, you just saw everything from different perspectives. And like, because I was trying to work through that, but then listening to all this music and thinking about what it is that's really in that footage, you're like, okay, there's like, that feels like that might be the music for it.
Exterior day. The car arrives. Warm headlights glow. It slowly pulls up to the drive of a home. A man gets out. He opens his trunk. Reveals a bag and a small box of mementos. He gets out. He closes the trunk. He makes his way towards the front door. The car leaves. The night goes still. The man enters the home. The clouds are bright in the sky. The man has a little bit of a pep in his step. He starts working through what looks like piles of boxes inside of a garage. He's looking for something. He walks across the backyard, but it looks like he's walking backwards, as if the footage is almost reversed.
Well, this has been quite a journey. I actually got really sick during this project, and so I'm feeling much better. But I was kind of down for the count for about 6 weeks, and it really changed my perspective on making and what this whole channel is about and everything moving forward. And so I'd like to thank Alexandra for offering and coming on board to share this experience with me. Throughout the process of this video, as you can see, my ideas that I had really didn't make it to the end. And I think that's something that a lot of newer creators, and I know whenever I was younger, I just thought that you didn't start something until you had all the right resources. And the older I get and the more that I do this, I realize that that's just not the case. So I hope that you got something out of this video that you can make with a lot of different things. You might have a friend that has a band. That could be a cool story. You might have a friend that's made a really cool piece of art, a landscape or an abstract, and you're like, well, that could be a background for some world that you're building. And so over the course of the next couple of months, I'm going to be doing exactly that with these projects. So if you're a filmmaker that's looking to do that, make sure you like and subscribe. Also, turn on your notifications so you'll see when the actual film goes up. And if you're an artist that has something sitting around that's autonomous, which is what Alexandra termed this piece, an autonomous creation, then hit me up on broadscreative.us and maybe we can collaborate together. One last thing, and this is kind of a shameless self-promotion, but this channel is very close to being monetized, and as soon as it's monetized, I'm going to be giving away my first feature on this channel, The Horror. If you like this, share it with somebody. As I like to say, I hope that this turned your love for watching into a love for creating. So I'll see you next time. Have a beautiful day. Do something nice for someone. Talk soon.